What's up, guys? Nolan here, and today I was invited onto Pestily's podcast along with Axel TV, where we got to ask Nikita lots of questions and learn a bit about what's going on behind the scenes for Escape from Tarkov. I'm fairly certain that you guys know who Pestily is, but just in case, his link is going to be below if you want to check out the VOD for yourself. And please do go check out Axel as well. He streams over on Twitch and is very good at the game. Today, Nikita started off by saying the team is working on finalizing patch 12.12 and that everything is going as planned. I will let you guys know right now we didn't get a date or confirmation of the wipe, but if you ask me, I'm confident 12.12 will be a wipe and we will have it around New Year's, if not sooner. So what you're not really going to hear about is things about desync, things about cheaters and stuff like that. Anytime that Nikita ever talks to anybody these days, that's of course one of the main topics for what they discuss, and it's always the same answer: they're working on it. There were a couple things that actually had a tangent about networking that you'll hear about in a minute, and there was also a slight tangent when it came to the after raid replay stuff that involves being able to more effectively find cheaters. But generally speaking, if you're worried about networking or desync or optimization, the game's still in development, guys. That's a work in progress. Yes, it's a priority, but that stuff takes time, and it also resets the clock a little bit anytime they add a specific crazy new feature. And even though we didn't really talk about it too specifically today, it did come up. There are going to be 3 new modules being added to Pestily in the near future, which should really help detect cheaters. But as always, guys, make sure you're doing your best to report anybody that's sus, because one thing remains true every time Nikita does talk about this stuff. He said the most effective thing are the player reports, so we got to keep at it. The later iterations of the tasks system will include possibly monthly tasks, but also the global quests, where entire factions will work together to complete a task. A quick example would be something like getting 10,000 kills of the opposing PMC group to unlock special trader tiers that is only accessible to the faction that won that global task. When it comes to the monthly tasks, Nikita was a little bit iffy if we were going to be getting those, and I did mention that the current weekly tasks may need just a bit more balancing before we step them up even further. Nikita mentioned that they are preparing to test VoIP on the ETS, and he said that, not me, and even though that's on NDA, I guess he's okay with us saying that. So yeah, VoIP is coming to the ETS. He also came out and said that Unity19 and DLSS are on the ETS. In terms of the team, it sounds like they are crunching to the end of the year, which means extended hours, even into the weekends for some team members, I'm sure. So what that says is that the team is actually working as hard as they possibly can to get everything done. We talked about Lighthouse quite a bit, and unfortunately, the trader will not be in the first iteration. Once they do make it in, though, they're going to be guarded by at least one of the 4 scav bosses on the location. It's possible that you will need some kind of unique item, like a keycard for labs, for example, as some kind of trade item as payment in order to just get to the trader. Other than that, I couldn't get anything else on that subject from Nikita today. The armed train on Lighthouse is frozen, but still planned for the location. We talked about that for a little bit. It's the same kind of feature as the BTR on Streets, where you can be brought to different places with it and then use its guns for protection. So it sounds like the first iteration of Lighthouse will essentially just be the map, but I'm sure there's going to be some new tasks along with it. And again, no trader or bosses on the first iteration of the location. The part of the map with the trader will also be unlocked later. Later on in the podcast, I asked about what's going on with the UN and the Russian regulars or Russian special forces, and Nikita said that the animation team is prioritizing the trader, bosses, and unique NPCs for the Lighthouse location right now, so they are not working on the UN or Russian military. He said those are on hold for now, but absolutely planned to be coming to the game in the future. The unconscious system is being worked on in pieces, as it is very difficult to get these things working correctly when it comes to networking and third-person perspective, meaning what people see happening and the ragdoll effects of the person going unconscious. It's still a long ways off, but it is coming. Along with that is the custom armor hitboxes and advanced movement. Specifically, Nikita is worried about things being implemented as well and intelligently as possible in the very first iteration, so the community will be able to focus more on the balance kind of feedback rather than the bug reports and stuff breaking kind of feedback. There's also some tools and tech that they need in the game first. The advanced movement system, which involves vaulting, hand switching of the weapon, dragging bodies, and etc., may include the ability to have a friend help you get to higher places. They're worried about the maps and physics of the buildings and environment for stuff like that, so they want to make sure if it is possible, people can't get where they're not supposed to be, which takes a lot of time and even reworking some pieces of certain maps. We spoke a bit about PMC Karma, and Nikita decided that they were going to redesign what they had planned from scratch, so it's postponed. After seeing how Scav Karma functioned in-game and its effects, they didn't think what they had planned for PMC Karma would be good for the game, so they're reworking it. You may need a camera for your helmet in order to use the after raid replay feature. The camera will likely be like the compass, where it will be unlootable, so you will only need to buy it once. And if you're not up to speed with that, that's if that feature works well enough in the arena, then they will bring it to the standard game. We talked about the early wipe economy economy and endgame, but in general, it's very difficult to do that in the game's current state. So once a few more features are implemented, we're going to worry about that more, as of course that is a very important topic. There was one point where Nikita rattled off a few things like all types of the AUG are work in progress, all types of the G36 are work in progress. BSG are thinking of limiting the flea market further to help with economy issues when they arise, making us depend a little bit more on traders, and then make things easier to balance or correct. There were no further specifics when it comes to how they were going to do that. Although Nikita was very adamant that he will never remove the flea market, so any of you guys that were possibly worried about that, it's not going to happen. While continuing to rattle off some stuff, he mentioned that the MTS revolver shotgun, the double barrel, both scars, VoIP, Inertia, Lighthouse, Unity19, and DLSS are all confirmed in patch 12.12. If you guys have been following along with my videos in the past, then that's probably not news to you. However, the Unity19 and DLSS actually getting confirmed for 12.12 is news. So there is our missing Unity19 and DLSS from patch 12.11.6. They're now going to be in patch 12.12. Nikita talked about the unique prestige system for the non-wipe servers. To be clear, there are still going to be those separate servers for wipe and non-wipe. So if you like having your account getting wiped and race through the game along with everyone else that's playing on the same server as you, you'll have these seasonal wipes. And if you want to save your progress into eternity, you can, but the two servers will never overlap. When you achieve the Kappa on the no wipe server, you will have the option to prestige, and we discussed some possible rewards for that. Nikita already mentioned that you will take your Kappa container with you on a prestige, so you will reset at level 1, but you'll have a Kappa. You may also get a unique melee weapon for prestiging as well. Nikita mentioned that they are open to suggestions on what they should do for this prestige system, so if you have any ideas, toss them up on Reddit or social media. They're thinking about an event where streamers get to win a streamer item, but it would be a competition like PvP or something. If that is the case, that is going to be probably one of the best tournaments because there are a lot of streamers that want an in-game item. Correctly working IR strobes on helmets and a hotkey for flashlights on your helmet are SoonTM. For some quality of life stuff, there's going to be fixed groups where through raids, you will not need to reform the group and re-invite all your friends. Also, along with that, a full loadout preset is still SoonTM. So yes, a preset for absolutely everything that you have equipped, not just your weapon, making you be able to essentially hit one button and then be good to go on your raid. Now, I of course had lots of other questions, but what we talked about today was already 2 hours worth, so we're going to leave it for another time. As far as I'm concerned, nothing groundbreaking in terms of features added or removed, which is really the goal of what I wanted to talk about today. As we get closer to release, they're likely going to start finding things to cut from launch, such as suburbs and town, for example. So my priority for today was to check in on my most anticipated, and I'm sure for a lot of you guys out there, your most anticipated features coming to the game. And it seems like we're good. Then last but not least, right before we left, Nikita dropped a suppressor shot for the UMP, which I personally was very excited for because I want to relive my Modern Warfare 2 days. This is coming with patch 12.12. This was a lot of fun, and thanks again to Pestily for the invite, Axel for his perspective and translations, and of course Nikita for putting up with my shit for 2 hours. That's all for today, guys. I have a couple new info dump videos planned based off of the conversations that we had today, so expect to see those pop up over the weekend as well as next week. If you want to see the entire VOD for yourself, I'm going to have that linked below. That's of course on Pestily's channel, but again, make sure you check out Axel, and I'm also going to link Nikita's Instagram below. He's got some really cool gun range videos up there. We haven't seen anything in terms of a new weekend event or anything for this weekend, but as usual, if I see or hear anything, I will of course let you guys know more once I do. Until then though, if you are looking for people to play with, check out our Discord. Links in the description if you're interested. For the latest Tarkov news, check out these playlists here. If you like this video, then you know the drill. Please subscribe. I really appreciate the people who do. Otherwise, I hope you have a nice day. See you guys.